agree with me, ladies and gentlemen, that there are many Christians in church who are hot today. You are hot not because a person offended you. You are hot because you have used your life to serve God. You have used your life in fact, you started from children's section. You started serving God. You started following God. You were following God diligently. You entered into one of the departments, maybe in the choir, maybe as an usher, maybe in the media or in the sanctuary cleaner. You joined one department, hoping that as you render service to God, it will replicate a blessing to your life. But you have done all of that, and you are still expecting a blessing. And you look back to life, years are way past, and you're looking back and you're saying, Lord, I thought I gave you my life, I gave you my time, I gave you my energy and my effort, but how come my life is messed up today? Sir, I want to submit to you. It doesn't matter how long you have spent working with God or working for God or working for human beings, your rewarder is coming. God is not a user of men to dump men. God is a user of men to reward men. In the place you read, it was the story of a man called Jacob. Jacob had walked. He had rendered his service to a man called Laban. The first service he rendered was for the daughter called Rachel. Follow me. The daughter called Rachel was a person Jacob wanted to marry, and because he wanted to marry, he had no money to pay dowry. He said, in replace for dowry, let me serve you for 7 years. And ladies and gentlemen, 7 years came to an end, but yet Jacob was not rewarded with what he had labored for. He labored for Rachel, but yet they gave him Leah instead of Rachel. Sometimes when you labor for certain people with an expectation in view, sometime at the end they can repay you with what you did not labor for. They can disappoint you at the verge of getting the reward or the wages of your labor. Am I communicating with somebody here? The man Jacob was laboring effortfully. He was putting effort into life. He was laboring because he was expecting Rachel. But at the end of it all, he was deceived. The Bible says he was supplanted 10 times. You know how painful it is. Just as the Igbo culture does. The Igbo people do. Wonderful way of raising people. You go and serve a master for years. Sometimes it could take 10 years of your life. Sometimes it could take 15 years of your life, 7 years of your life, 5 years of your life, according to the agreement. But at the verge of you coming out to become a boss, they tell you didn't serve well, go without wages. It is disappointing. Years wasted. So was the case of Jacob. Listen to me. But while Jacob was serving, he was hell-bent in getting what he desired. He decided to put another 7 years. And as he put another 7 years into service, the Bible told me that they finally gave him Rachel. It's okay, I cannot have 2 wives and be stranded. Let me also serve you for another 7 years. So that you give me money so that I can take care of these people. Give me animals so that I can start up business. He served another 7 years, making 21 years. But each time he was near getting a wage, Bible says Laban will deceive him. For 10 times, he kept on deceiving him. 10 times. And in the place we read, the Bible says, and then Jacob said to Rachel and said to Leah, he said, your father has supplanted me, deceived me. He has collected what belongs to me, and now he wants to take my life. If not that God has paid me. Why? The man Jacob was complaining. God had a plan. God, if you like, serve a man that is wicked, who pays you with wickedness, God has a plan for you. God has a plan. Follow me. While Jacob was serving to get physical benefits as riches and as wealth, God was seeing his service to hand over to him a nation. God saw his service. That's why if you read the book of Genesis 32 and verse 28, God saw the service of Jacob. God saw how he had selflessly served Laban. And God said to him, what is your name? He said, my name is Jacob. He said, from henceforth, your name shall be called Israel. Not because he was the only one that God could have handed over a city to, or God could have turned into a nation, but because God saw through him a man who has served and has not been given his wages. God saw a person who has labored but life has cheated. God saw a person who has walked in church and yet there's no testimony to show. God saw in a person someone who wakes up in the morning and rushes to church, no money to come to church. He comes to mat as an usher, he comes to sing as a chorister, he stands and holds camera. God saw it in Jacob and said, what you are even waiting for is too small compared to your service. Before I continue, let me prophesy on you. As you hear the sound of my voice, every service you have rendered, the God of heaven will repay you for that service. I said that God of heaven shall repay you. When it was raining, you came to church. When it was drizzling, you came to church. You are not transport, you trek to church. And sometimes when you come, your pastor frowns at you. He said, why have you come late? If only he knew where you were trekking from. If only he knew you don't have food in your stomach. If only he knew what you are going through, yet you came to church. Your pastor would have recommended you. He would have appreciated you. But there is a rewarder who sees your deeds in the secret. There is a rewarder who sees your attitude to service. There is a rewarder who sees your actions and weighs them. That rewarder has sent me to tell you. Therefore, before this month come to an end, heaven shall reward your effort. God will reward your effort. God will reward your effort. Heaven will reward your effort. Lift your leg and shout and receive it.